Hi guys, I'm Shmi, hello and welcome back to the channel where today we are heading to collect the SLS Black Series. We're going to be heading over with the C63 Black Series to go to Avantgarde to bring back the two 6.2 litre V8 AMGs together to get back home to join the GT Black and to have all three, the trio, together here at the Museum. Something that I've been looking forward to for a very, very long time. In fact, I have not driven the SLS for probably 8 months or so. I can't wait to get back behind the wheel, and I can't wait as well to get on the road with the C for its first outing since collecting it. There's a lot of AMG Black Series going on today, but let's head out then with the C63 to go get the SLS to bring it back home to put the trio together. Everything is currently parked in a slightly unusual layout here at the garage because we currently have some work taking place at the Museum to install some more charging sockets on the walls, to plug in the CTEC smart chargers so all of the batteries are conditioned properly. But we're going to be taking this for its first proper run. 150 miles each way over to Avantgarde just beyond Bristol, where I went to see the SLS a week or so ago. It is all now complete, but I'm looking forward to getting some time behind the wheel of this. Now the two cars both have 6.2 V8s, but they do it in very different ways in terms of the driving. And we'll talk more about how the C63 Black Series, the SLS Black Series, and the GT Black Series actually compare to one another a little bit later on. And I will give you a quick warning notice at this point. If you are playing the Black Series drinking game, watch out, because it's probably going to be said quite a lot of times today. Now this thing sounds immense. There are of course a few things I want to do to the car that I've talked a little bit about. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to keep it diamond white. We'll touch more on that, but I've been very much looking forward to getting the trio together, having been hoping for many years of course for the arrival of this, the GT Black Series, to succeed my earlier AMG GTRs and the regular GTR I had before, and having picked up the SLS Black Series last year. So thanks to Exclusive Autos, this joined the Schmeemobiles. It is a complete monster. We've got the carbon aero kit, carbon wing, we've got a ridiculous sound from the exhaust. We'll have plenty of that today, but let's basically get it started. We're going to be heading out. It's a fair old drive, presumably with a little bit of traffic. We'll have about 3 hours on the road today, but it's a car that has actually done a few miles, so we can drive it without fear. Let's get it started. Hopefully we have a cold start right now. Oh yes, it's honestly crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Obviously it's a C63 despite being a 6.2. That's always been a little bit confusing. Same with the SLS. I love this. Right, let's go have some fun. First proper outing with this car. We can talk more about it, to go and get the SLS, to get these together. While we're just cruising in the C63 Black Series, one thing I hadn't realised is that driving like this on the M25 at the moment, it's actually really quite comfortable. Now, of course, at the moment we are in the base settings in every way. We have the gearbox here, which you can change with this toggle selector in the central console between a few different modes, but we're in comfort mode. And like this, it's not particularly loud, it's not particularly mad. You can then go into manual and start to drop some gears, and obviously being a C63 from the W204 generation, it has no problems making a whole lot of noise. But I think for today's journey, we'll just kick back, relax, take it easy, and effectively get from here over to Avantgarde. Fast forward an hour or two, and it was wishful thinking wearing sunglasses today because this weather is horrible. Now in this car, I suppose it's not too bad. We've got a set of Pilot Super Sports, which Exclusive Autos very kindly fitted to the car before collection. The SLS is on Sport Cup 2s, which aren't the best in horrible, horrible weather like this, but just taking it easy, a gentle cruise, because yeah, I mean, it's all over the place at the moment. Let's just hope it's not going to be too bad for the drive back home. He says, as it's clearly getting worse very quickly. This is miserable. This is really miserable. Anyway, the SLS is waiting. We'll be there before long. We've found a little diversion onto some very nice countryside roads, and this car sounds quite frankly ludicrous. But look at this place. Look at where we're driving right now. This is awesome. Perfect to give this a proper outing. Okay, this is a little bit silly. It's basically got secondary cat delete, which is, as you can hear, go through the trees here. Fairly mental. Quite similar to the SLS, which awaits us at the other end. But this is, well, what a great route to have chosen, effectively by mistake. Look at this. You don't get anything like this anywhere near London. This is fantastic. What a brilliant place to be driving through. Lovely corners, great tarmac. Need to remember this one. Come back and do it another day sometime. We are just arriving then, and I think the SLS is going to be somewhere here waiting for us at Avantgarde. They are a Mercedes-Benz specialist. They have been working on the car while we've been waiting for all sorts of different parts to arrive that have been on serious back order, to say the least. But I guess the car is right there. These two meet each other for the first time. That looks so cool. Right, let's go work out what happens next. Here we are then, the two naturally aspirated Black Series AMGs together at Avantgarde. And you will notice we've parked just in front of one SLR. There is one I want to show you inside, but finally, SH60 MEE meets SH62 MEE. The SLS Black Series is now completed. It is ready to rock and roll, but just quickly, an SLR being worked on, some more here, and I have to mention the most perfect plate for the car combination that car has. But look at this. I stopped by recently, of course, to check it out, to see how things were going. It has been quite the process along the way, waiting for parts with the supply issues at the moment, to find the new engine management loom, the ECU, and then ultimately the oil pressure sensors that have been replaced as well. But now everything is completely back together, exactly as it should be, ready to take this car on home, to take a seat on board in a moment. And I know one thing that quite a few people were wondering about, considering the car has Rentex R1 package, the upgrade that we did over with Lucas in Germany, that means, of course, it has a tune on the ECU, and given we've now given it a new ECU, we of course have lost that. But there is a solution. Along with the R1 package, when I got the car upgraded, we actually also got the Rentec handheld tuner, which I have back here, just inside this little pouch, effectively the OBD device, which has both the stock tune and the R1 tune loaded to it. You simply put on the second stage of the ignition, plug that into the OBD port, the light goes red for about 2 minutes or so, then it turns green, and it's done. It's fully upgraded and ready to rock and roll again, so hopefully no problems with that. A nice and easy process, and just keep that stored in the car, because you never know when you might need it. But yeah, let me take a seat back on board. It's been a while since I drove this, and I can't wait to go out again in a moment. Let's press the button, start it up. This thing sounds so good. In fact, these two cars together are going to sound rather monumental, which is what we're going to have a lot of very, very shortly. So, just hop back out for the moment. It's such a cool car. And of course, it is a huge thanks to the team here at Avantgarde Automotive, who have looked after it so incredibly well for a much longer time than planned. But now it's time to get it home. We'll be able to finish the audio upgrades before too long, now that it's finally got those parts back inside. For now though, 2 Black Series on the road back home to go and find the third. It's time to head out then. Compulsory first meters with the door up, because SLS, it's basically what you have to do. Let's close that back down. I love being back at the wheel of this car. It is so cool. Right. Thank you very much to the team here. They have been so helpful, you wouldn't believe. But for now, we've got 150 miles or so back towards base. Being back in this is so unbelievably cool. Unfortunately, this drive is basically all on the motorway, but just quickly into manual in here, down a couple of gears, because why not? Oh wow, I missed that. This is gonna make for an epic rev off between the two of them. What I need to remember though is how I put it back into miles an hour on my dashboard. There we go. Oh, I love it. I've missed this car so much. I'm gonna pop it back into comfort. I have missed this a lot, even though it's left-hand drive here in the UK, because of course I imported it. It was a German car originally, but it's been away for so long after having done so many miles, and obviously I haven't yet really focused on the fact that we have new speakers out on the dashboard, the new autosynthesis system that's been installed, but we're really going to save that until we can look at it in detail, until it's all hooked back up properly, and until we can talk about the Android Auto that we now have. There's a controller actually in here which the guys have installed very, very neatly, it has to be said, and we will go through all of this. Oh, look at that, the C63. Love it, absolutely love it. Oh, this is so good to have these two on the road together. It seems we've got round 2 of torrential rain. Look at this weather. First drive back in the SLS after a very long time. We can't even see the road in front of us. Oh, this is a disaster. Seriously heavy rain. Proper storm. We are right under the rain clouds. Yeah, with the C63 Black behind and not really enjoying this. Just time to take it easy, I guess. Oh, there we go, that got better quickly. Let's hope it stays this way, because I was not really planning on a super sketchy drive today. We've pulled in for a fuel stop because, of course, when you're driving with 2 cars with massive V8 engines, this is definitely a side effect of the journey, especially going quite so far. But being back at the wheel at this thing, honestly, despite today's weather being so horrific, it's just really, really cool to be back in it, because I did so many miles in it last year, all of the adventures across Germany, about 12,000 miles in it in a very short period of time. And then obviously kind of parked it up a little bit to hibernate it before winter, before we went to do the sound system upgrade, and then obviously fell foul of it being an older car and things just going slightly wrong, and having to wait for the parts to arrive. But it just feels like being back at home in here. And one kind of funny thing is that this is the first fill up we're going to have done with the C63 Black Series. So I'll have to work out which side the filler pump is on that actually, but this one I believe is on the right. So we will pull in here. Oh, something out of, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Sorry, out of use on V-Power on every pump. I guess that means we're going to the next one. Let me go and have a look if we have any better luck further down the line, but it looks like they are completely out. Next pump it is. Oh well. This is almost certainly one of the trippiest camera angles of all times, with the microphone connected up, but we had to give it a go as we're rolling with the 2 cars then. Cruising on by, thankfully now dried up, and also of course with a full tank of fuel, significantly helping life. Not something we wanted to have a shortage of today, having had more than enough of that in recent times. But how amusing is this? That's how we do it, that's how we roll. We are back, and how cool is this? Finally, the trio of Black Series together, lined up in number plate order: the C63 Black Series, the GT Black Series, and the SLS Black Series in their current colours: the diamond white, the graphite grey Magno, the mystic blue. 3 very, very different driving experiences. We have the ultimate track car, the car that did set a record at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. We have a car that I like to call a super Grand Tourer, very, very exciting and dynamic, but also very comfortable for long distances. And then we have the boisterous and shouty C63 Black Series, 2 equipped with those fantastic V8 naturally aspirated engines, this making the power with the twin turbocharged flat plane crank V8, the 4 litre as opposed to the 6.2s. But seeing the cars together is totally surreal. This is something that I've been planning for quite a long time, and now it has happened. I've been looking forward to the GT Black Series probably for 3 years or so. The SLS I acquired about 1.5 years ago, and of course now picking up the C as well to add to the collection. But while they're here like this, while they're all lined up, I'd like to look at them a little bit more as well. Of course, in the era of the C63 and the SLS, it was more taking the regular car, you could say, making it even wider, making it more dynamic, adding some carbon fiber parts like the aero kit, and it's exactly the same with the SLS. Again, it's wider, as you can see in the bodywork here, the carbon wing at the rear, the flicks around the front, but this was much more of a purpose-built weapon, you could say, completely, I think, reworked from the ground up. It's not just wider with a wing, it's a lot more than that. It's a new engine, as opposed to just making a little bit of power extra over the standard car. And in fact, all three have the same keys, which is interesting. They're all exactly the same keys. Let's open up some of the engine bays though, because I want to show you how all of these look. We'll start with the C, which is down here. Single pull of that one. Come through to the GT, which they changed slightly. It's on the passenger side. It's a double pull here. Give that a second pull just to release that one, and then go round as well to the SLS with the gull wing doors. I think it's the driver's side in here. I hope we'll find out in just a second. Yep, there we go. Pull that one, come out and open these up, because AMG make some fantastic engine bays. Look at that. The Black Series badges that we have in all of them as well. Obviously this is much more about the aero work. Even when you look inside here, you can see the aero vanes in the engine bay for directing the airflow through. And then the C63, this is going to be the hardest to find the latch. Let me see, where is it exactly? I can never remember in this car yet. It's there, just to that side. Look at this as well. Fun fact from Tom the Car Dude, you get a different colour top of the engine on the Black Series as opposed to the standard one, which is a much lighter silver. It's the same if you have a performance pack or the 507 or the Black Series, but all with these black plaques for the one man, one engine from AMG in a filter pack. Just amazing to see them all, to be able to see some of the engineering and some of the work and some of what goes into making these absolutely brilliant, brilliant machines. Now all here together in the Schmeemobiles, together at the Schmuseum. In fact, let me just close all of these back down. Carbon fiber bonnet on the SLS, also on the GT. A bit harder to close this one because it's quite so light. Basically, you need to give it a click on each side, and the C is without carbon bonnet. I think you have to drop this one. Oh no, give it a gentle press, and then click it down into place just like that. What an awesome lineup of cars. We've got the bucket seats inside two of them. In fact, in here we've got bucket seats, but still quite road spec. In here we've got bucket seats and cage, and maybe I could put in the harnesses and the extinguisher. And at the moment in the C, we've actually got effectively the comfort seats. You could have it with buckets and a cage, but not very many of them had that specification. Most of them were ordered like this in the 4-seat configuration. Similarly to my GT500, in fact, where a lot of those are ordered as the 4-seat with the bench in the back, as opposed to how mine is with the rear seat delete and the carbon pack on the exterior. Although for this, you could order that separately. Maybe I'll pop some buckets in it, maybe pop in a cage down the line. We'll see. I'm not entirely sure what the future plans are going to be for the C at this stage. But the trio together, lined up here in the garage, is a bit of a surreal moment. It's a bit of a pinch point. In fact, there are now 6 AMGs here in the garage at this moment in time, with the Pro, the Roadster, and the G63 as well, although one soon to depart, as I think you guys know at this stage. Yeah, what a day. I just hope that you weren't playing the Black Series game, or even counting how many times I've said Black Series in this video, because I know it's going to have been a lot. But again, it is a huge thanks to the team at Avantgarde for all of their work to get the SLS back on the road, for the stress, I think, of having to hold on to it for a lot longer than intended, thanks to all of the delays outside of our control, their control, and pretty much anyone's control. But it's back now, it's ready to be part of the collection, and it is here for the first time at the Schmuseum. A great outing to do 300 miles as well on the C63 Black Series. Next though, I think we need to get all of these out together to get some awesome shots of the 3 Black Series models side by side. That's it for now though. Thank you very much for your support as always, guys. It is hugely appreciated. But that's it for this time, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.